We are live. What's up, everybody? This is a quick, not normal show. I have a special guest. Justin from Cleveland is joining us. He made a phone call in about 2 or 3 episodes ago, I think.
Yeah, somewhere around there.
Yeah, so we were supposed to have Tommy on, but I think Tommy's still on the side of the street making money. I don't know if you know Tommy too much, Justin, but he's been struggling with money, so he's been stripping and kind of whoring out his body. So I don't know if he's going to make it tonight. But that's all right. But I have you on here, and I know we've been going back and forth about getting you on the show and stuff like that. I'm finally got you on, so I'm glad I got you on, and sorry it's been back and forth for so long.
No problem, no problem.
So I got you on because I wanted to, hold on, I got my stupid thing going on right now. I wanted to get you on because I wanted to get more of a reaction since the whole LeBron going down, and I wanted to get like a reaction on what you think with the whole basically Wiggins being signed and there's 30-day countdown now to Kevin Love possibly wearing a Cleveland Cavs jersey. And what really made it interesting is that he backed out of the USA team, and he cited because of the fact that with the potential of him in trade talks, he didn't want to be involved in U.S. stuff and possibly get hurt. So I thought that was kind of interesting.
Yeah, I think that definitely stands out. I think somebody must have said something to be like, if he were to get hurt and playing for that, then that takes away from everything. Maybe not even Cleveland, but even in Minnesota's eyes, because now they're literally going to be stuck with nothing. You know what I mean? Imagine if they didn't even trade him to Cleveland, but if they tried to hang on to him and get something better.
Well, let's be honest, though. He's going to Cleveland.
No, he's going to Cleveland.
Yeah, there's no way. So what does that mean for you now? Are you guys all just freaking crazy now? Do you guys already got your playoff tickets? I mean, what's going on?
Well, to be honest, the hype right now obviously is, and this is a completely different train of thought, but right now there's nothing being talked about except for training camp for the Browns.
Oh, that's right. Well, yeah, we'll get into that too, because I forgot. Yeah. That's the hype that's going on as we speak right now is the Cleveland Browns football camp, and I can't imagine it being not crazy right now with Manziel taking the field. I mean, have you gotten the chance to go to any of those? Is it something that intrigues you to go, or you just kind of like just wait to the regular season?
No, actually, I went yesterday. Saturday there was 4,000 people or something, and Sunday was even busier. Yeah, just to watch, like no pads or anything. Everybody was just watching. It was pretty cool though, because he came out into the stands and like was shaking hands with everybody and stuff like that. Didn't get a chance to do that because it was obviously crowded. But yeah, that's taken over all of sports radio. So the whole Kevin Love, Andrew Wiggins, LeBron James thing, everyone's kind of just taking that for granted now. It's like, yeah, we got LeBron. We're gonna get Kevin Love. Let's just move on to something else.
Dude, it's got to be fun for like Cleveland sports right now. Like, obviously in Sacramento, we have one thing: we have the Kings. I mean, we had Sac Republic Soccer, and that was huge. We broke attendance records for basically, well, I think it's for the first year of having a team like that. But we broke records there, so there's going to be probably a good push and promise for us to hit MLS maybe in the future. But it's got to be exciting in Cleveland right now, dude. You got the Cleveland Browns, who should be somewhat good of a team this year. They're going to compete. You got the hype of Manziel, and you got – I can't even imagine, like, even thinking about Manziel now since the Cavs are, like, with LeBron, and obviously Kevin Love's got to be going there. And, I mean, it's got to be nice to be in Cleveland right now in sports.
I think some news broke out today. I don't know if you saw this or not, but Philadelphia is trying to clear Thaddeus Young. I think that –
Really?
Yeah, and I think that helps the Cavs a little bit, maybe hanging on to Wiggins possibly. I mean, I still don't see the trade happening without Wiggins, but if you get a third team.
I don't see it. It cannot, dude. It has to be Wiggins.
I know. I mean, I would agree, but when you get a third team in there, that'll increase your chances to possibly hang on to Wiggins, but I don't see it happening.
Okay, then what would Minnesota get out of it then? Thaddeus Young and a couple first-round picks that are out of the...
Well, what I was thinking would happen is you'd have, like, Dion Waiters and, like, a draft pick go to Philly because Dion Waiters wants to play in Philly because that's where he's from.
Yeah.
And then you have everything else like Anthony Bennett and the other picks and maybe like another player like Tristan Thompson or something, because he'll be useless when Love is here. Go to Minnesota. So that way you still hang on to Wiggins and everybody gets what they want. But they're trying to get a third team.
Yeah, but that's got to be just exciting, dude. To imagine the possibility of having a LeBron and Kevin Love come to an already somewhat talented team and basically already written in stone that they're going to be in the playoffs. So let's just get it there. I don't see anybody in the East that's going to be able to, unless the Bulls are healthy, give them a run, because Indiana is all over the place. I like Washington Wizards. I've liked their team, but on paper right now, not beating Cleveland. I think Miami will still be a factor, but let's be honest, unless Dwayne Wade somehow, he's been losing weight and he knows what he has to do. I guess he's still trying to lose more weight because of his legs, and that's what the doctors told him, that if you're trying to play more games and take on what you're going to be taking on, you're going to have to lose some more weight because you have no cartilage in your knee. So, but it's just, dude, it's got to be exciting. And I guess right now with the whole schedule not coming out right away, hold on, Tommy's actually calling.
Oh, okay.
Hold on. What's up? Yeah. Okay. So. Okay. No, that's all right. I told everybody you're stripping, so keep making that money, Tommy. Good job. All right. Yeah, he's stripping.
Okay.
At a fat girl's place, Slump Buster. But anyways, real fast. Yeah, I mean, I guess the NBA schedule normally would have came out by now, but there's like talk is that it's slowed down a little because of the whole. Well, LeBron went to Cleveland. Let's kind of redo the schedule a little, and I think they're supposed to it's supposed to open up Cleveland versus the Spurs the first night, which probably would have been the first game of the year for the Spurs. It probably would have been Miami and Spurs. So it's kind of.
What do you think? Like on PTI today, they were talking about. Do you think that the Spurs deserve to not open up on the road, being the champions? Like they should have their trophy presentation versus the attention LeBron gets. What side do you think?
Obviously, you would think that. I mean, it's been done before where a team that just won the championship didn't open up at home. I mean, it's been done before where it took like the second or third game. But
yeah,
I think it's sad as it sounds. LeBron James going back to Cleveland is a bigger story and more excitement than Spurs getting another trophy or having a trophy thing. So
it's very true.
I mean, it's exciting more for Spurs fans in general to want to see their team get hoisted the banner and all that kind of stuff and get their rings. But if we're talking about NBA in a whole and you want the most viewers, LeBron at home versus the championship Spurs is a lot smarter than just a home game for the championship team. I mean, come on. I mean, honestly, it's just another banner for them. I mean, I know it's exciting, but the NBA is looking at more about the whole thing. Let me ask you one thing. Let's get off that real fast. What do you think about the steroid era and players like Bonds and Rafael Palmeiro and who else? Roger Clemens, all these players. Do you believe that they should be in the Hall of Fame or back up? Do you think MLB should build some kind of thing to the Major League Baseball Hall of Fame with the asterisk if you have to? Because these players obviously have the stats. I understand most of them cheated. But baseball knew that this was going on. They knew that this was bringing. I mean, single-handedly, I believe, my opinion, is that the McGwire and Sammy Sosa home run record, when they were going back and forth, 50 home runs each at one point or whatever it was, going after Roger Maris's home run record, and that was coming off that strike. I believe that brought back baseball. And what clinched it for me is to piggyback what Tommy Lasorda said, or Tommy La Russa, is that he believes they should be in the Hall of Fame, and what clinched it for me is Nelson Cruz got accused of steroids last year, and he got voted in to start this year in the All-Star game. So I want to see what you think about how you feel if they do put MLB steroid claimed players in. How would you do it?
Yeah, I would definitely agree. I would go with the asterisk. It's an interesting topic though because they just recently cut down. Now they just recently cut down the amount of chances you have, which I think obviously hurts
Well,
players who
yeah,
have used it before because they said 6 players since 1991 have been included into the Hall of Fame on their last ballot that they just took away. Um, so you're taking away a huge amount of. I mean, since that's only 20 years, 6 players that got in
yeah.
since '91. So I mean, that's taking a lot of players away. But I agree with you. I don't remember how old I was when that happened. But Bonds versus Sosa or McGuire versus Sosa. But
Mhm.
that was probably one of the most exciting times that I can remember, and obviously I still remember it to this date.
Well, I mean, the
Um,
crowds were coming back. I mean, they
oh,
were
absolutely.
slowly coming back, but that home run record, I believe, in my opinion, single-handedly helped, obviously, the situation of getting the crowds back in because that was exciting. Because baseball, obviously, now has been replaced as, not America's pastime, but number one sport in America. Obviously, it's NFL football, American football, if you want to call it that.
Yeah.
But it's just sad to me because it's like I grew up playing baseball first. I loved other sports, but it's funny how now just people and athletes are more taking the chance to go play NFL football, knowing that baseball you basically get guaranteed money. You sign a contract, you guarantee get that money. Football, you're not guaranteed. You're guaranteed the signing bonus, but say you sign for 4 years, 50 million, and you only get 10 million. Okay, what if you blow out your knee and you can never play again? If that was baseball, you get that extra 40 million. Football, you're done. And that's what's
Yeah.
crazy to me is that there's football players and people are still taking the chance to go for football more than they are going to try to play baseball. And it used to be baseball was huge. I know it's harder for baseball to become a professional because you got to go through all the minors and there's so many players but I would go with longevity, even though football football to me, I used to love football and I still do, but I don't love football back then like I do now because of fantasy football. Fantasy football got me to look past my 49ers. So fantasy football helped me look at other players and watch more football games than to just one game with the 49ers or wait till playoffs, you
Yeah.
know? So,
Absolutely.
yeah. But it's
Well,
interesting about the whole baseball thing, but I mean,
well, going back to that, like it's really tough to decide when, like, at one point, like you said, the things that they were doing were accepted by baseball. You know, baseball knew about it. So how do you come back now and say, well, those players did this, they shouldn't be allowed to be in the Hall of Fame like everybody else? But because now it's looked upon as negative, but back then you know that they knew what was going on.
yeah.
So so how do you do that? How do you decide? I mean, do you do the asterisk then, or I mean, what do you think? I mean,
I honestly feel like you have to let them in. They were part of that era. They were part of baseball. I don't know, but you have to imagine that baseball knew what was going on.
oh, absolutely.
And all of a sudden, because Canseco wrote a book, and what sucks about the whole thing is Canseco wrote a book about the truth, and everybody hated on him for him exposing the honest truth, and it was going to get out eventually. Some snake or some doctor or something was going to get attached to these guys, so it was going to come out anyways. And Canseco did it in a way. It was kind of like he wanted to make extra dollar. He wasn't a part of baseball anymore. Let's write a book and exposed everything. But it was a part of baseball. It was part of an era that was so long. It was going on for so long, and it wasn't really like against the rules.
Yeah,
And that's what's sad. Is like baseball knew what was going on. They turned their head once everything came out and acted like they did not know what was going on. So I believe if you're going to do it, you let them in. And if you have to put a stupid asterisk on, put a stupid asterisk on. I don't know. I can't
I,
I can't see how you can avoid not having that in baseball.
yeah, and when some of these players like that you named off, they were probably already on their way to Hall of Fame careers before they took. I mean, like Bonds. I mean, wasn't he already on his way before the home runs came?
See,
I
that's
mean,
the
just
thing. Bonds was going to probably be an all-star or a Hall of Fame without taking steroids.
yeah,
He might not have broken the records that he broke, the home run record and stuff, without them. But let's be honest, he was building his career up well enough to be a first-time ballot Hall of Famer.
Exactly. So with a
And
player like that, yeah,
and I know he hasn't been accused, but I mean, let's all be honest. Barry Bonds took
yeah,
steroids. They all did. They
yeah,
all did, and then now it's just sad because now you question everybody. You think the only okay, one person I can think that I wouldn't question is like say King Griffey Jr. If someone said King Griffey Jr., I would say no way. There's no way. I can't imagine him doing it. But all these other guys like Rafael Palmeiro, you might not have thought he would have done it, but I don't know. Long story short, I think that they should let these guys in because they were part of baseball.
yeah. I agree. And if you, like you said, if you have to do an asterisk to make everybody else feel better, then that's fine. But I would still
Right.
probably put them in without it. I think you have to look past the rules. Like if the rules change, you can't change them now. Can't modify it. If they're in, they're in.
Okay, I have to ask you. Have you ever had a bad trip, like going somewhere, like a vacation or a bad trip, honestly?
I was following your tweets, obviously, and
Oh my,
I was catching a lot of them. I'm like, I cannot wait to hear this. So
dude.
so
Okay.
please let's hear it.
First of all, I asked you. It's such a frustrating story. Have you ever had anything like just ridiculous happen, like something that is just like out of the Griswold movie? Because that's what I've been basically linked to on my Facebook. Is when I posted all these pictures and stuff, my friends were like, hashtag Griswolds, and I didn't really think about it at the time. And this whole Murphy's Law now finally kicked me in the ass, and now I understand what it means. Is Murphy's Law that anything that goes bad will go bad, and it was just a cluster F of going bad. So I have to ask you first before I get into my stupid story. Have you ever had anything where you had a trip planned, you're excited, you got on the road, and it was like the best worst trip you've ever had?
There's definitely been a trip to that. I can recall the Myrtle Beach trip that I went to.
All right, tell me.
Definitely like that. Well, how about not one but two flat tires on the way?
Yes.
That's just on the way.
Yeah.
Okay, and then and then obviously the gas meter broke.
Nice.
So we thought we had a half tank. Did not. I mean, I guess we should have been paying more attention to that, but we weren't.
Why? Why?
I mean, you're thinking you're safe, and then when we're there, we lost half of the things off the beach. The other half were stolen.
Okay. Wow.
So that was interesting. Probably the worst food experience ever. I mean, these were all the same trip.
Yeah.
So all these things added up to being like the best worst trip because you were happy not to be in Ohio at the time, but at the same time, all these bad things are happening. But I have a feeling that none of these things are going to add up to what you're about to say.
Oh, dude, no, that's pretty close. Okay, so, okay, well, I had plans about a couple weeks ago. My brother-in-law, he works for the Comic-Con in San Diego. He fills in and gets a room and helps with the audio and stuff like that. So he gets tickets every year. So he kind of mentioned to my son, like, because my son was talking about this guy named Stampy Longhead. He's a huge YouTube guy who does like a bunch of videos, but his main ones that my son watches is obviously the Minecraft. So he mentioned that, oh yeah, Stampy Longhead's always there, and my son's eyes just like went wide, and he was like, dude, I gotta go. And we always get offered the tickets, but we are always like, dude, we just got done with the San Diego because we go there every year for my wife's family. And it's like 2 weeks later is Comic-Con, and it's hard to go there for a week and then go back after another 2 weeks. So this year, I was like, I got to take my son. So he's at the age where he knows what's going on with Minecraft and this guy. So anyways, long story short, we only got one adult ticket and a couple kids are free. And me and my wife are looking at each other. By the time my wife got off on Friday night, and it's like 7 o'clock. By the time we get in the car, it's 8 o'clock. By the time we drive to San Diego, we're looking at 5 o'clock in the morning. By the time we get settled, it's basically turn around and go to Comic-Con because you got to go there early. So we decided we can't do it, blah, blah, blah. Let's go to the Monterey Aquarium. Let's take the Mercedes, thinking like everything's going to be good. There's nothing to worry about. I know my truck tires are going to need to be replaced anytime soon, but not to blame my wife. I did not know about how bad the back tires were on the Mercedes. So we're doing well. Everything's fine. We're cruising. Everything's good. Haha, selfie pictures, family trip. We're all happy. Everything's good. So about 30 minutes away from Monterey, we're on this road, and it looks like a crappy road, but it sounds like a bunch of like bumping and whatever like that. And my wife's like, "This doesn't sound right." I'm like, "It's just the road. Don't worry about it." Next thing you know, you not like you hear the pop, but you heard something kind of the car kind of like just jitted. And next thing you know, I was like, "Oh shit!" So I got all the way over to like 4 lanes, all the way off to the side of the road. And I can see kind of like people drive by and look at us. And I knew when people were driving by looking at us, I was like, something's up. So Teresa gets out of the car, the wife, and she looks at the back tire, and she's like, yeah, we have no tire. So I get up, and I'm like, I'm not freaking out yet because I'm like, wait, what? What? So I'm like, okay, I can do this. I haven't changed a tire since high school, and I'm 35 years old. So that's been like 20, whatever, you do the math, or, 18 years. So I'm like, okay, so I opened up I had to take all the suitcases out, all this, and cars are flying by, and I've seen videos of freaking, CHP getting hit by cars and stuff, just being on the side of the road. So it's like I'm trying to watch and trying to do stuff at the same time because cars are flying by, and they're like so close because I'm off the road, but I'm not like way, way off the road because there wasn't much to give. I start freaking out, so I'm like, okay, kids, everybody get out of the car. So I got the kids, and I went down the hill, and of course, here comes a freaking tractor, and the tractor goes by, and here comes a freaking dust storm. So then we're getting hit by dust storm, and the kids are like blocking everything. It's just an ugly situation. It's very easy to change the tire on the Mercedes because they basically give you the jack. The jack has a small square black thing on it, and underneath the passenger door, which is where the tire was blown out in the back, there's a little square thing. All you need to do is meet it up, and you jack it up, and whatever, you get the bolts off, whatever. This is when dumb gearhead who doesn't know anything about cars messes up. So I have 4 bolts, and I need 5 to put on a spare. I'm freaking out. I got to get this car off, and we have 7 miles away to the All-American Tires to get one. We thought 1 tire, okay? So I put 4 of the small baby bolts on, and I'm like, what am I supposed to do? Can I drive on 4 bolts? I'm like, I'll just barely put the 5th bolt in, which is the longer one, which I later find out is not the correct thing to do. So we get in the car, and I drive slowly, and we're like literally like 100 feet from getting off to the overpass. We start hearing a rattling noise. Wife freaks out again. We're like, oh my God, what's going on? We hear this rattle noise. We get off, and she notices the back left tire now is about, like, seriously, not that much longer, and that thing would have shredded off. There's metal, everything's, it's just, okay. We don't have any AAA. Both of our parents have AAA. We call for how much a tow would be. Towing saying $136 just to go 7 miles down the street. We're like $136, okay? Getting this in mind. We still haven't paid the $200 for the hotel. We haven't paid the $150 plus for the tickets to the aquarium. So we already have $350 waiting for us. We thought 1 tire was about $150. Now we know 2 tires need to be replaced. So now we're looking at like a $600 trip already. And then we haven't even gotten to Monterey yet. So 3 hours later, my mom adds me to the AAA account. We have to get a truck bed because the car can't be towed because the back tire is gone and the other tire is about to be blown off. So it's going to take extra time because we have 2 kids and us to fit into the freaking tow truck. So, okay, long story short again, get the car on the truck bed, gets us to All-American Tires at 4 o'clock. They close in an hour. We get the car there. The guy goes and tells us. I tell him what I did, and he goes, yeah, I'm not going to promise you anything, but basically when you put in a bolt like that that's not supposed to be in there, and usually when your rim sticks out, your wheel is about a little bit longer, so the bolt can only go enough just to barely fit into that hole. With the way that the stupid spare is, the spare is closer to the hole to put the bolt in. So I got it in there more than it should have been, I guess, but I know I didn't put it on hard, like too much, but I tightened it too much to where the guy had to break it off. So at first he basically made it sound like we couldn't get the tires on. And he's like, well, no, I can get them on, and you could drive on 4 bolts, you'll be fine, everything's fine. But you need 4 new tires. So now we need to buy 4 new tires because they didn't tell us in Folsom that you can rotate your tires side to side on a Mercedes. You can't go front to back on a Mercedes, but you can rotate them side to side. So we could have had longevity on some of these tires that we've had in the past longer. That's another phone call down the road, okay? So regardless, we got it done by 5, got to the hotel. Our plans just got reversed. Well, we were going to go to the aquarium on Saturday and all this other like they have a Dennis the Menace park in Monterey. The guy who did Dennis the Menace. It's a cool kids park. It's the most ridiculous park ever. So we ended up doing all that stuff on Saturday. Still got down to Monterey, walked the shops, did all the fun stuff. Okay, that was the worst thing. Thinking, okay, whatever, forward to blown tires. Now we're looking at $640 plus $200 of hotel plus $150 aquarium. That's without even buying food. That's without even dinner. Nothing. This is just stupid. So then we ate dinner. My wife let me take my son to go get yogurt. It's one of those froyo places where you basically put the yogurt in yourself at 49 cents a pound, so or an ounce. So they only have one size cup, okay, and the cup looks pretty good. I'm like, okay, well, this is not going to be that bad. So I start putting in the yogurt, and of course my son gets like the cake batter kind, so that's probably a little bit thicker, right? So after we're done, we put the stupid sprinkles in, we put these butterfly candy gummy things in, and we weigh it. It's like $7.45 for a small yogurt. So I bring it back, and if I can show you my wife's face when we walked into the other ice cream place where we were getting ice cream, me, my daughter, and my wife, the look on her face is like, what the F are you doing? Like, what did you just do? And my son basically bought like ate $1 worth before he was even done with it. So we have $6 left of a freaking yogurt that there's no way I was going to last driving 30 miles back to the hotel. So we get back in the car, and then it's like some car cut us off, and my wife had to make an abrupt stop. So then my son goes, whoop, here goes about $4.50 of the yogurt all over the back seat of our car onto the carpet. So we just basically lost a $7 yogurt. We just wasted $7. So there's that. Sunday was cool. Sunday was like a good. We got to the aquarium. I saw a dude in short shorts. I saw kids on leashes. I saw a bunch of fun stuff. The whole atmosphere. I mean, you live way in Cleveland. I don't know if you guys have aquariums or the closest aquarium for you. The Monterey Aquarium is very nice. I like it better than the San Francisco one, because the San Francisco one you basically walk through a couple tubes that are above you, and it's kind of cool, but that's all you get. But the Monterey Aquarium, it's got like 3 levels. It's got just huge exhibits and stuff, and the kids loved it. And my daughter was like very young, like in sling age when we last went, so that she got to walk around and actually see things. She's 5 now, and like the kids didn't think about the tires being blown out. They don't understand the amount of money that was used for this still. I mean, some people might have quit right there when the tire blew out and turned around and go home, but we made something out of it, and it was fun until I got all the way home, and literally 10 minutes almost home, we get a phone call, and it's like, oh, you left your wallet in the hotel.
Oh, no.
So I lost my wallet at the hotel. And we checked out at 12 o'clock. We left about 6 o'clock to get home. And you're trying to tell me like it's like 9, 10 o'clock until you guys finally call and tell me that, oh, we have your wallet? So I don't have a wallet. I don't have an ID. I don't have anything. I called and canceled my card. I go into Wells Fargo today. Thank you, Wells Fargo. I love you guys. No, I called them, and they told me as long as I go in there the night before, as long as I go in there with the information that I gave them over the phone, I should get a temporary card and you can order a new one there. I go in there, and because I have no license, first of all, like, you need an ID. I was like, I don't have my ID. My license, everything it's lost. Well, you can go to the DMV. DMV wanted to wait like 2-3 hours. I'm like, I'm not trucking my kids to the DMV to get a piece of paper. Forget it. So I go back with an old ID, my old license that's been expired, and I'm like, dude, here's my license. Can I get I just need a card, a temporary card, and can you order me a new card? And then you guys are making it very hard for me to stay with Wells Fargo, because me and my wife have been talking about maybe not staying with you guys because some of the things you guys have done to us in the past. See, my wife used to work for Wells Fargo, so it was easy. We just got in, So now they're like, everybody's looking at me. It looks like I'm making a scene. I wasn't like my arms. I wasn't saying bomb on the plane. I wasn't doing anything crazy. All I was just trying to do is get a effing temporary ATM card so I can get a couple dollars out to buy my kid a freaking donut. Well, no, they can't do that because my ID was expired. So they wouldn't do anything about helping me out, except for at the very end, I guess he told my wife, because my wife called, that he said I can take cash out. But they wouldn't issue me an effing freaking temporary card, but I can take cash out? What the fuck is the difference? So I got so fucking pissed. I said, I can't do this anymore. I'm done with you guys, and I walked off. But it was just, dude, But what made it okay was like my kids today. I asked them, "Did you guys have fun?" And they said it was the best trip ever, kind of. And I know the kids will always say that because we'll be going to Disneyland this year, and I guess Disneyland will trump that. But it's to the point where as long as like me and my wife might can look at the other stuff and we can laugh about it because I mean we still had fun. We still see the kids' faces with smiles. It was one of those circumstances, dude. It was just like, what the F more can happen? The on the way home after a great day of just being at the aquarium and then them telling me I lost my wallet was just one of those like, are you fucking kidding me? But I don't know, man. It was fuck this Murphy's Law bullshit.
The smiles on the kids' faces makes it all worth it, though.
Yes, it does, and that's all that matters. Is that them telling me today I took today off, to them telling me just they had fun and listening to the stories they were telling me that they want to go back and they weren't scared about the tires and all this. They had fun doing everything. We made sure like we took them to the park, the aquarium, let them pick out something at the little the shops on Monterey, and it's just such a if you ever get anywhere near there, dude, if you can make it there, it's so pricey though. Everything's pricey. It's expensive places, but it is so worth it. The aquarium's perfect. The places, the shops, everything around it, the culture. It's so much fun. The ocean's right there, and that's what we did on the way home. We stopped off and climbed these huge rocks. My son wanted to climb up the very top of this rock because the waves would hit up and almost hit you. And it was just overall, it was one of those, like I keep saying, it was like the worst, best trip ever. So it's funny that everybody keeps hashtagging us Griswolds, but
I know I saw the picture today of.
Okay, I was gonna say I'll put
faces.
Yeah, hold on.
Awesome.
Let me see if let me find it real fast for the other people. But I thought it was just hilarious, though. But I mean, it sounds like the same thing happened to you with the whole blown out tires and all that kind of stuff. So.
And a rental car of all things too.
Ah, rental car.
Yeah, when it's supposed to be, good to go.
I don't know, dude. It was just, I was so done, dude, Justin. I was done. I really was. I was like, I can't do this anymore. But it's just to the point where, let's see if I can, oh, whoops.
Yeah, see if you can get that picture up for sure.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, let me see this there. Let's share. But it was just one of those circumstances, like, I honestly, I didn't know if it was going to get any worse. I was like, is this going to get worse? I don't know what my share button is. My share, oh, there it is, screen share. Okay, let me see if I can find it.
The pictures you put your face over are hilarious.
Here it is. I took our faces, I put it on the Griswold picture, and I put the Murphy's Vacation, because that's what it kind of felt like. That's what it felt like, homie. Oh, terrible. Terrible.
You do really good with those. You have the Kim and Kanye West picture.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. That's terrible.
I'm telling you.
I got so much like what the fuck is wrong with you kind of reaction, and then I got so many like, okay, yeah, that's hilarious.
It's hilarious.
Yeah.
No, it's hilarious. Anybody that thinks it's not funny is just, I don't know.
I got problems, dude. I don't know what it is. I've been hitting the head too much. I don't know, too much liquor. I don't know. And
then you had the LeBron and Johnny Manziel pictures from Step Brothers. That was awesome.
That was funny. I caught that off that was off somebody else off Twitter. I saved it because everything was going down with LeBron. Basically, I went through a string of changing my profile picture in honor of LeBron going back to Cleveland because I loved it, and that I did the paper thing you sent me, showing me what the paper was going to be that next day.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so I took that one, and then when I saw, a couple days later, someone posted the Step Brothers of Manziel and LeBron. I was like, I got to do that picture.
Whenever you put a new picture up, you got to check it out.
Yeah.
It's always hilarious.
So did you get your tickets yet? First game?
Got some tickets. We're still waiting on the info from the buddy
nice.
that knows Kyrie. I talked to him today because he worked with me. Supposedly that's still good to go. So
cool. Nice.
Yes.
What else is going in Cleveland? Like, how crazy is business starting to? Can you notice that? Are there any new restaurants coming in?
Downtown is getting crazy because obviously, as you know, we have the Republican National Convention coming, which according to our county executive will be more money to the city than a Super Bowl would.
What?
So, yeah, that's what he said. He said projected because they asked, they're like, do you ever think that with everything going on, you could have a Super Bowl come here, and he was like, the RNC is a Super Bowl. He's like, actually, projected numbers state that the RNC will make more money for the city than a Super Bowl would. So I guess that's something exciting to look forward to.
That's
So
crazy.
they're building a hotel literally next to the convention center that's supposed to be the biggest hotel in Cleveland. And that's obviously going to be done in time before the RNC gets here. So you have that, and then you have LeBron, and then you have Menzel. So things are just going great for the city. They're actually redoing Public Square, which these are obviously more local things now, that
Hmm.
not big scale things. But I'm just saying they're completely just doing downtown, completely overhauled. It has to do with all these things obviously taking place. But yeah, things are looking up for the city. I mean, so far, knock on wood.
So
We
that's
don't
awesome
want.
because I mean that's basically kind of maybe not obviously similar, but with the whole new arena finally, our last hiccup of these stupid stop people who are trying to stop, which is obviously you don't understand. Okay, let me break it down real fast for you. We have this stupid mall that at one time, maybe 15 years ago, was somewhat of somewhere to go to shop. It was to some people it was an easy access to go because it had a lot of outside malls. So there wasn't that many lines. There wasn't like stuff that, like inside malls. That's where everybody went to go shop. So sometimes you would go there for like Black Friday, Christmas shopping, whatever like that, because it was easy to get to some of the stores. It's died off so bad throughout the next couple leading up to now, where it's like barely anybody goes to shop there. It's downtown Plaza. It's you would think that it would be like somewhere you'd go to, but just no one goes there. It's just it got ugly, bums, crime, all that kind of stuff. So that spot, after obviously doing the research, showed that it wasn't bringing in any kind of revenue, and it was a perfect spot to buy out and build a brand new downtown arena. Well, the stop people felt because this was done without their, like they wanted the vote. They wanted to have some where Sacramento basically voted on it, and they felt like they didn't have a chance to vote against it or whatever because they have this embedded in their head that they're going to have to pay a bunch of taxes on this thing and all this when everything was broken down and it's not going to cost them. So they did all these things throughout the last couple of years to try to stop this from happening, but it was stupid. The last final straw, finally, it's done. The judge finally threw everything out and said basically it's done. Shovels are going to be in the dirt pretty soon. We got a couple years. 2017 is supposed to be when it opens, and I hope that this finally starts, taking downtown Sacramento and making it somewhere where people. I mean, it's a freaking state. It's the capital of California. It's the state
Yeah,
capital, and you don't win trips here. Okay, game shows. You don't go, hey, you won to Sacramento. From what I've heard from people, a lot of people around the NBA hate coming to Sacramento. They feel it's a cow town. They don't like the city to visit and all this kind of stuff. And I will admit, there's not much to do here. Downtown is getting better. There is some things to do downtown. There are like these concerts in the park in downtown. There's things to do. It's just to the outside world, it's not a great place to come. So this new arena, if you've seen the images, it looks remarkable. It's going to be so like updated with like Wi-Fi this and just a bunch of new stuff that a lot of arenas don't have yet. But more businesses are going to build around it. It'd be stupid not to take advantage of that if you're a business, a restaurant or whatever, because it's going to bring revenue. I mean, Comcast just spent $700 million on a new deal, $700 to $800 million on a new deal with the Sacramento Kings. So they know what's going on. It's I'm a realist. I don't know when they're going to make the playoffs again. It's been 8-9 long years, but the new arena I think it's going to. It might make people. I feel like our roster will be where it needs to be by that time that arena opens. Because there's no way they're going to want to open up a brand new arena and have another 28 to 30 win team.
yeah.
But right now, the way I feel right now with my roster, it's going to be another long year, dude. I hope DeMarcus makes the USA team. It's a lot easier now because everybody's dropping out. There's not that many big men anymore on the team, so I think he's a good chance he'll make it. So hopefully he'll learn and grow up even more by doing that. But
What's the projected starting five for the Kings right now? If you had to go off today.
Projected right now is obviously Darian Collison is going to be your point guard. I still think they're going to have McLemore start. I think Nick will come off the bench. 3 will be Rudy Gay. I want to say 4 will probably be Landry. I like Landry over JT. And probably, obviously, DeMarcus Cousins will be our starting 5. I don't know if they're going to make any more moves. I doubt they are. I don't know what other moves we can make. I think the Josh Smith, the Rondo, all that was just, just chatter. I don't know how I'd feel if we really did take Josh Smith. I was just kind of at the time it was happening. But now that I look back at it, was that just to make a move? I'm pissed that we basically there's rumors now that we're trying to sign, Caspery for like under $1 million for 1 year, and I'm thinking about that million could have been used towards JT's contract or Isaiah's contract, even if Isaiah. It's little things like that. I don't know, man.
I really like Isaiah, man. I really liked him. He's very underrated for you guys. Just in general.
He always had a chip on his shoulder, man. Last pick.
Oh yeah.
He earned that. He earned that money. There's rumors that are going around saying that he was treated wrong with Sacramento, and he's coming out and saying no, that's not the case, and it's just stupid.
Yeah, played Kyrie. He played really well.
Yeah, if you put their stats up against each other, a lot of people like to compare those because they came out the same year. Yeah, stat by stats, Isaiah held his own, but come on paper, if you're going to start a new team, you're going to pick Kyrie over him. If you're franchise drafting, you're taking Kyrie. But overall, I don't know. I don't know what to think about as Kings fan this year. I don't know what to hope for. I don't think they're going to get over 35 wins. I don't see how their team got better. So.
The West is so stacked. It's so tough.
The West is
kind of like, it's insane. I think like the 9 and 10 seeds would have been playoffs in the East.
Oh, dude, yeah, I think even worse than that. I think it reached out all the way to like the 11, 12 seeds, something like that, or the East. But East can. I don't know. I feel like the East kind of got a little bit more even playing field. I think this is the first time that, honestly, the NBA feels everybody can. Spurs are still the number 1 team to me. The Thunder are still tough. But I really feel like the rest of the NBA seems like this is the first time where it doesn't feel like there's a clear-cut superstar team.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It actually feels like there's more parity now in the NBA, but you still got to beat the Spurs, and Spurs have never won back-to-back, so I don't know if this – the West is still tough. They still have to go through the playoffs. And they still got to,
it's very tough.
LeBron still has it easy. Basically, I feel like the Bulls is the only team he really has to beat. If they get Kevin Love, even if they haven't played with each other, that is such a fucking monster squad. If I was in Cleveland right now, like you, I'd be through the roof right now.
We're just hoping to see it happen, man. There's all this talk of, like that Kevin Love's telling everyone the only team he's going to sign an extension for is Cleveland. So I think
he wants to play with
he holds the cards. He holds the cards, too. They're not giving enough credit to Kevin Love because he can kind of control his own destiny here.
And how smart is LeBron? LeBron is the smartest dude ever. He's the first one that basically created that 3-year plan. He only signed for 3 years because he knew at the time that, this was going to come up. And if Carmelo would have signed with him a long time ago for 3 years at the same time instead of Carmelo getting 5 years, then it might have been Carmelo Anthony that was playing with Miami instead of Bosh. But Carmelo went for the full money 5 years with New York back then, and that's why LeBron and all them were all being able to play with each other because they were 2 years ahead of Carmelo in their contracts. So now this year, LeBron's smart, and he's only doing a 2-year contract because he's now setting himself up to always be looking out for himself now. So I don't see him hopping team to team, but he set himself up to basically put the pressure on Cleveland and your guys' front office and stuff and the owner and stuff to, if you don't put a team around me, I'm done. I'm ghost. I'll leave if I have to.
They were saying that if, let's say LeBron re-signs like he's supposed to, they're saying he could be making like $37.5 million a year just off of an NBA contract because of the new salary cap and all that.
The CBA. Some people are saying that if there was no, say, salary cap or any kind of whatever, like baseball, that some team would pay him $50 million a year.
Easily.
and he's worth it. That's what's even crazier. He's worth what A-Rod brings to baseball, because A-Rod obviously is the highest paid baseball player. I believe still, if you average it out, but I don't know, dude. It's just funny to me. It's just funny to me how much he could be worth if there was no such thing as a simple cap or anything.
Yeah, I wonder how much it would actually get up to. That's a great question. I don't know what the limit would be.
What else? Do you get to go to any of the Browns games? I mean, are you huge with football, or I mean?
Yeah, no, absolutely. Have a little tradition here. Usually, me and the fiance, we go to her parents' house, and me and her dad watch every single game. We like do a cookout every single Sunday, and we get real involved in it. So we've been doing that, but we are trying to go to a game this year, obviously.
What's your expectations? What do you think? What do you think is going to happen to them this year? You think they can make the playoffs?
Oh, that's so tough. It's so tough because only 2 non-division winners make it out of the entire AFC, whereas obviously
it's a tough division.
Very tough division, and obviously, like in the NBA, there's 5 non-division winners that make it, so that's a little tougher. But with Hoyer as the starter, like what you're hearing today is Hoyer is way ahead of Manziel right now after the first 3 days of training camp.
Mm-hmm.
They're saying it's pretty much a no-brainer that Hoyer is way ahead of Manziel. So if Hoyer is your starting quarterback, if you made me decide today, I'd say 8-8, which would not get you in the playoffs.
Yeah.
But that really depends though on how everything starts off, because I don't know if you've had a good chance to look at the Browns' schedule, but after Week 4, which is the bye week, and then coming into Week 5, they're facing 5 teams that are very beatable. Like, not saying the Browns will do it, but I wish I had it in front of me, but when you look at it, they have a chance to win all 5 of those games in a row, regardless of who the quarterback is, because this defense is
like Hoyer. I like Hoyer, though. I mean, I thought he played well until he blew his knee out last year.
But the defense is being completely ignored, and that's great for the defense, because everyone's talking about Hoyer and Manziel, and you're not hearing anything about the defense.
Okay, this is real fast. Let me ask you. This is real fast before we end this. Because it obviously has to relate to a guy you're not going to be able to have for possibly a year because he can't stop with marijuana. But Josh Gordon, this is how ridiculous this is. So I want to hear what you think. Obviously, Josh Gordon got caught again smoking weed, basically faces a year. Alden Smith goes into an airport, goes into a plane, I believe, says bomb. They basically got it cut down to what, a minor? A misdemeanor, whatever like that. He hasn't gone through what he has to go through yet, but possibly 2 to 4 games. You get a freaking Ray Rice, and we don't know what happens inside the elevator, but obviously the NFL does, and the people, the prosecuting all this, they got to see the full video. But basically carries his fiance at the time. Now they're married. But carries his fiance out cold out of the elevator, gets 2 games. What the hell is that? So basically, do you believe the NFL dropped the ball on this, giving guys who smoke weed 6 to 8 games for stomping on guys during games, fighting during games, smoking weed, all these things, get 6 to 8 games? Don't you think that with Ray Rice, it could have been like, say, 6 to 8 games, and then they could have taken like a lot of games and trucked it down or limited it down to 6 to 4 games after more information came out? Or do you think that it was okay for them just to go 2 games?
No, absolutely not. And the argument that, we didn't see what happened in it, come on. Come on. I mean, this was a great opportunity for them to really set a strong example for the rest of everything that they're trying to do with all the other players. And now it's basically like you're telling them what's okay and what's not, and it's backwards. It makes absolutely no sense.
That's crazy, right? I mean,
it's insane.
They're affiliated with the breast cancer, right? So they wear the pink for the month. They're trying to get more women into liking the sport and all this, and it's just like you have a case where the guy basically, I know she was fighting him too, but basically there's other ways of handling it. He's strong enough to hold her back. He's strong enough to hold her. Yeah. So that's my problem, is a lot of people are like, well, she could have initiated it. Maybe she was saying stuff to antagonize him. Maybe blah, 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 blah. But he is 200 and something pounds.
He's a professional football player.
He's a professional football player. You're trying to tell me this guy could not hold her down or hold her back or do something until...
He's getting slapped like cat slaps. That's not prevent...
What killed me is I was listening to Rome one day, and this African American got on. He's like telling Rome that basically you don't know what it is to be with a black woman, and you don't know how they can be, and if you were with a black woman, you would understand that they're tough and they're this and that. Trying to make excuses for Ray Rice to be like it was okay for him to do that because she was an African American woman that he was with. And Rome just was like, "Are you kidding me?" Basically, what the fuck are you talking about?
Unreal.
So, but I don't know. I just wanted to hear what you thought about that.
Well, also, yeah, But did you hear today that Josh Gordon hired the best attorney possible? Apparently, that helped out Richard Sherman's case. So, do you think that makes any difference? What do you think?
I hope because it's stupid. Like there's a couple states that legalized marijuana. Okay, marijuana, it's still a drug. Okay, I get it, but it's like there's miracle marijuana. It's for pain. Okay, it's for some people can use it for pain and all this stuff. Football players, there's stories about them not even getting out of bed on Monday mornings. Now you got them playing on Sundays, turn around playing on Thursdays. You got them. They have no chance for their bodies to recover. Let marijuana be legal in the NFL. As long as these guys are not freaking just being stupid and smoking during the games and all this crazy stuff. You're trying to tell a guy who got caught smoking marijuana in the off season a full year is worse than someone just knocking out a woman cold? How do you justify that, NFL? How does that just look stupid? So I personally hope that if that is the case, I really hope there's some way he can take that year suspension. Don't even give him
8
half.
games.
Give him
4,
6.
8.
Give him 6. Give him 6.
I was going to ask you what you think. Yeah.
6. 4 to 6. Because it's just marijuana. He didn't do anything harmful. He didn't crash his car. He didn't kill anybody. He didn't do anything stupid. He just got caught smoking marijuana. People do it behind the scenes every single day. It's legal in certain states. It's not as bad as beating the shit out of a female. It's just there's so many more things that are worse than that. And to give a player a year and a player who's exciting, a player who, I'd rather have him smoke marijuana than these other guys who, I don't know, Irsay, who basically drunk himself as an owner and got pulled over and basically hasn't got a sentence yet. Hasn't got any kind of suspension yet. Is it Irsay? It was Irsay, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So stuff like that bothers me. I just don't understand what the NFL rules are, what Goodell's trying to do, or what the hell's going on. I just don't get it.
I think the length of time is helping Gordon, though. I think it does, doesn't it? Don't you think something would have happened a long time ago? I mean, it first broke the night of the draft, and look how much time has passed. Do you think that helps?
I think
that they're thinking about it.
I think the fact that a lot of chatter's been coming out about how does this guy only get 2 games for hitting his fiance and all this other stuff, I think it helps the fact that maybe the NFL's looking at this as like, can we really suspend a guy a full year for smoking marijuana and only really give someone 2 games for beating up a woman? So maybe that this has kind of helped Josh Gordon's situation to where they can start finding ways to limit, because there were talks about maybe allowing some levels of marijuana be in NFL, especially for these guys who are the pain they're going through, because they got lawsuits up the ass. They got all these lawsuits for all the drugs that were given to them in the past, and doctors and people not giving them information, and some of them are dying, and some of them have health problems. So
and 14 Thursday night football games this year, like you said.
That's stupid. I don't know how you feel. I like as much football as I can, but it seems like the Thursday night games, there hasn't been one good Thursday night game. They all seem sluggish and stupid and injuries. That's where Hoyer lost his knee, was during that Thursday night game. It was just, to me, I just think that they just need to cut that shit out. Just let them play on Sundays and Mondays, and if you have to have an extra game, do a Saturday night game or something then. Do a primetime Saturday night, or you can't do Friday night because everybody watches high school football, but don't do a fucking Thursday. It's just stupid.
Yeah, and it screws with our fantasy teams too, that's for sure. It's
Yeah,
tough to
right?
figure that one out, man. It's tough to figure those Thursday nights out when you got guys playing.
That's what's sad is like we're looking at more a fantasy football sense because I feel like fantasy football. Yeah.
Yeah, I play it a lot, so it's
All right,
always
but
tough.
I gotta end it. It's 10 o'clock. It's 1 o'clock where you are, but we're gonna probably do another show Thursday if you want to hop on. I appreciate you coming on, telling your side of the story with Cleveland's, the view of still with LeBron and now Kevin Love, and I'm glad you came on, and stayed up late to do this.
Yep, it's going to be an interesting 6 months to give you guys the Cleveland perspective, so I appreciate you having me, man.
Yeah, no, definitely, dude. We'll talk again, get you on here, and we'll go back and forth, especially with Cleveland football, and I want to hear, like, Manziel and how crazy it is on Cleveland's side of Manziel and stuff.
Yep, show no more in a couple of days here, so that'll be good.
All right, man.
Okay.
All right, Justin. All right, dude. I'll talk to you later, man. You can follow him at Say Hi. What does it say?
Yep, say hi to Justin.
There it is,
the
right
number
there.
2.
All right, man.
Yep,
Follow him on Twitter. I'm at Murph Real Murph 916. You can watch the show on YouTube at any time. It'll be up on iTunes for just audio only in a couple days. I appreciate you guys for coming out and watching this later. Peace out.
Peace.